All right, y'all. Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome to this special Talking and Grubbing live stream. How's everybody doing on this Wednesday evening? I hope y'all doing good. I'm doing all right. As y'all come into the live stream, make sure you hit the like button, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. Make sure you subscribe to either channel or subscribe to both channels if you got both accounts. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the notification bell. Click all so you don't miss any new videos or upcoming live streams from me. So decided to hop on here for this special live stream because I got some things on my mind. Now, as y'all all have seen by now, earlier today, the Milwaukee Bucks decided to walk off the court for their Game 5 series. Well, their Game 5 against Orlando in the Eastern Conference first round to protest social injustice, especially what just happened in Wisconsin with the recent shooting of Jacob Blake as he was shot 7 times in the back by Kenosha police, which is an hour outside of Milwaukee. Hope I said that city right. If I said it wrong, I apologize. And I know y'all seen the video by now. I've seen it, man. I just get upset. I get too upset just watching that video. I mean, come on. There's about what, 3-4 cops there. Y'all couldn't subdue one man. Come on. Got this bug flying around, trying to mess up my flow. But come on, y'all couldn't subdue this man. Now they saying that, well, he had a gun, he had a knife. It's like, well, which one is it? First he had a knife, then he had a gun in his car. Which one is it? Seeing y'all coming into the live stream, you know, you can chime in with your thoughts in the chat. And for the first time tonight I'm doing this, you can come on board and chat with me live if you want to and get your thoughts. On this whole situation. Nazo, what's up, man? I understand, but still, thanks for joining me for this short period of time. Now, a lot of players have spoken out on it. You know, George Hill feels that the players shouldn't be in the bubble playing. Also, Doc Rivers yesterday made a very passionate speech about police brutality, as well as the Blake shooting before the Clippers and Mavs played their Game 5. I'm about to share that with y'all. Give me a few minutes here. Okay. Okay, here's what Doc had to say last night before the Clippers took on the Mavericks in Game 5 of their first round series.
What stood out to me is just watching the Republican revenge.
Okay, I'm About to okay, I'm about to refresh this and start over again. My apologies for the little technical difficulty. Nostalgic Gamer, what's up, man? How you doing? Said why now 50 people been killed since the start of the playoffs. What are you referring to? Nostalgic Gamer, elaborate.
I think it's just about perspective.
Okay, I'm about to share my screen again so y'all can see what Doc had to say last night before the Clippers and Mavs went at it in Game 5. Okay, here's what Doc had to say.
What stands out to me is just watching the Republican convention, and they're spewing this fear, right? Like all you hear is Donald Trump and all of them talking about fear. We're the ones getting killed. We're the ones getting shot. We're the ones that were denied to live in communities. We've been hung. We've been shot. And all you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing why we keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back. And it's really so sad. Like, I should just be a coach. And it's so often reminded of my color. You know, it's just really sad. We got to do better. But we got to demand better. Like, it's funny. We protest, and they send riot guards, right? They send people in riot outfits. They go to Michigan with guns, and they're spitting on cops, and nothing happens. The training has to change in the police force. The unions have to be taken down in the police force. My dad was a cop. I believe in good cops. We're not trying to defund the police and take all their money away. We're trying to get them to protect us, just like they protect everybody else. I didn't want to talk about it before the game because it's so hard. Like, just keep watching it. That video, if you watch that video, you don't need to be black to be outraged. You need to be American and outraged. And how dare the Republicans talk about fear? We're the ones that need to be scared. We're the ones having to talk to every black child. What white father has to give his son a talk about being careful if you get pulled over? It's just ridiculous. And it just keeps going. There's no charges. Breonna Taylor, no charges, nothing. All we're asking is you live up to the Constitution. That's all we're asking for everybody, for everyone. Thank you.
All right. That was a powerful. That was
game was giving me so much. With that being said, it's also giving me a.
Sorry about that, y'all. Also, my mistake. It was after Game 5 between the Clippers and Mavericks yesterday, not before. My mistake. But that was definitely some powerful words right there by Doc Rivers, the head coach of the LA Clippers. And this is coming from a guy whose father was a cop. You know, if y'all don't know, Doc grew up on the west side of Chicago. His dad was a Chicago police officer for 30 years. So, you know, he's definitely seen both sides, you know, with his father being a cop, but he's also seen how some of his fellow officers, well, his dad's fellow officers, excuse me, have treated a lot of, you know, black people in the area he grew up in, as well as the south side of Chicago. So, you know, how can Republicans sit up and talk about fear at the RNC when they're not the ones, you know, most of them are white. A lot of them are not getting targeted. You know, it's mostly black people and and brown people too that are getting targeted by police. So definitely gotta give a shout out to the Bucks players for, you know, taking a stand, and also got to give the other NBA players props for following suit. You know, so tonight there are no playoff games. They're being postponed till further notice. We don't know when the playoff games are going to resume. You know, the last time I checked my Twitter feed about a little over 30 minutes ago, according to Adrian Wojnarowski of, you know, Yahoo Sports, I mean ESPN, excuse me, he said that, you know, the NBA is meeting with Chris Paul, who's the president of the Players Association, Kyle Rivers, as well as Andre Iguodala. Because, you know, the NBA definitely don't want to lose any money. Nostalgic Gamer, you said, why are they boycotting now? Okay, why do I think they're boycotting now? Because I mean, because they're upset. You know, they were upset over what happened with George Floyd. You know, they're still upset over Breonna Taylor and her killers haven't been brought to justice on any charges. That damn attorney general, he's a coward. Damn fudge marshmallow, son of a bitch. I'm going there tonight. I'm going there tonight. No way those cops rode into that apartment like a bunch of thugs. And I did not blame her boyfriend one bit for what he did. You laugh out loud. You LOL nostalgic gamer. And you know, I just think this whole Blake shooting has really pushed these players over the edge, especially the Bucks players. I mean, that town is an hour outside of Milwaukee. Said, oh, never heard my bro QC like this. Because I'm upset, man. I'm getting tired of seeing these daggone videos. I'm sick of it. I'm so tired of looking at these videos, man. I mean, come on. It was what, 3 or 4 cops at that scene. You telling me they couldn't subdue one person without violence? Come on. They could have subdued him, or they could have just let him get away, run his license plate, then catch him later. You already got his license plate. All you got to do is just type it in, look up his information. And if he had a gun or a knife, why would the cop approach him so closely and that aggressively? You know I ain't no law enforcement expert, but I know in police training, you never get that close to somebody that's a threat. Never. Because you're putting yourself in danger. And if you got other cops there, you're putting your fellow officers in danger. Right, right, nostalgia gamer. They could have shot one of his kids too. That's another thing. What if one of those bullets ricocheted and hit one of the kids? He had his 3 kids in the car. Just reckless. That is just straight reckless. But of course, you got the cop defenders out there. Well, if he would have just complied, nothing would have happened. That's not always the case. There's some people who've complied and still been harmed, even killed. So no, I don't blame the NBA players for walking off the, deciding to sit out these games here tonight. Matter of fact, George Hill the other day, was giving his reaction to the shooting. He said we should even be here in Orlando playing this NBA bubble because we can't do anything while we're here. And also, another one who decided to walk off tonight to show his support was Kenny the Jet Smith of TNT. So let me show y'all that quick clip. To show his support for the players. There we go. Okay, here it is.
This is tough. I mean, right now my head is like ready to explode, like just in the thoughts of what's going on, and I don't know if I'm even appropriate enough to say it. What the players are feeling and how they're feeling, and I haven't talked to any of the players. I'm just like coming in, even like driving here, getting into the studio, hearing calls and people talking. And for me, I think the biggest thing now is to kind of, as a black man, as a former player, I think it's best for me to support the players and just not be here tonight. And figure out what happens after that. I just don't know. And I respect that. Shaquille, the fact that everybody was young.
All right. That was a clip of Kenny Smith walking off of the inside the NBA set live on the air on TNT as he decided to show his support and stand in solidarity with the NBA players who decided to boycott tonight's games. Definitely got to give props to Kenny Smith. Definitely respect him for his courage. Definitely got to give respect to Kenny Smith for that move. But, I mean, the NBA, I mean, we got to start taking some action. Jeff Van Gundy, and I don't agree with a lot of everything he says, but this was during the Clippers and Mavericks broadcast Sunday during Game 4. He said, it's time to stop just keeping the conversation going. It's time for action. It is. I mean, we've had this conversation for, over 50 years now. Well, no. I take that back. We've been having this conversation for at least 70 years. We've had this conversation with Jim Crow. We've had it through the civil rights movement. We've had it through, post-civil rights movement, the crack epidemic. It's enough. It's time for some action. Definitely time for some action. And of course, some of the right wing is mad. about the players walking out. Like racist ass Clay Travis, I cannot stand this dude. This fool on this racist bastard on Twitter. I ran earlier posted reminder. The NBA didn't boycott in China after the Chinese government said the First Amendment didn't apply in their country. For the constitutional scholars out there, China explicitly, said they didn't recognize American NBA player and executives' First Amendment rights anywhere in the world and demanded the NBA players disavow Maury's statements. And not one NBA player stood up for Maury's right to free speech. One, that's in China. They were in China. Okay? Their laws and constitution is different over there than compared to America. Also, Maury still has a job with the Houston Rockets. And you definitely can't compare this to police brutality. No way in hell you can compare this to police brutality. You know? And also, this is the same Clay Travis who threw mad shade at Colin Kaepernick, when he had his NFL anthem protest back in, 2016. He constantly crapped on Colin Kaepernick. All right, nostalgic gamer. So he wants to talk about protecting Daryl Morey's free speech in another country. But right here in America, you dog Colin Kaepernick's right to freedom of speech and freedom of protest. And I know, I got a reply from somebody when I tweeted them that. Somebody said, well, you don't have the right to protest at work. First of all, at that time, NFL did not say no one could not kneel during the national anthem. They didn't. Just letting people know I'm live now on social media. And also, the NBA definitely has to do a better job. Well, I mean, they've done a solid job with far as letting the players, protest on the court. They've done well. Well, I give the NBA. Excuse me, lost my train of thought for a second. Just a lot of things running through my mind right now, but I give the NBA credit for letting the players, do their protest during the anthem, but they definitely need to do more. Definitely need to do more on addressing social issues. And also, you know, back to Clay Travis, him and Jason Grimmislock, they love talking about how, and 45, they want to talk about how bad the NBA ratings are. Well, if they're so bad, why the hell are you talking about them? You know, I never heard nothing. I never heard nobody say something's irrelevant, but then talk about it. You know, I mean, the NBA ratings are kind of low, but they're not as bad as MLB and in the NHL playoffs. Definitely not as bad. But for those who don't support the NBA players, you know, right to boycott, guess what? Then you can't never say you're a patriot and you're all about free speech. But I know what a lot of that boils down to when they say that. It boils down to jealousy. And yes, with about most of them, racism, because they look at, well, how dare these, you know what, walk off the job. I couldn't walk off my job. Also they're definitely jealous that a lot of these young, well, predominantly African American men are getting millions of dollars, and a lot of them aren't getting that money. Some of them have to work a 9 to 5. Some of them have to go to school for years and years to even get to half of that level. But for those of you coming into the live stream, I'm talking about the NBA players deciding to boycott tonight's playoff games in the NBA bubble down in Florida. Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks decided to lead the charge today and decided not to play their game 5 against the Orlando Magic. And all the other players follow suit. This is their way of protesting social injustice, such as police brutality, and their response to the video that they saw of Mr. Blake being shot outside of Milwaukee 7 times in the back by cops. Last time I heard, he was in serious condition, and they say he's paralyzed from the waist down, but they don't know if it's temporary or permanent. So, my prayers are definitely with him, as well as his, 3 young kids, because those kids are definitely going to be messed up for forever. Especially if, well, I definitely pray he makes makes a full recovery, that he survives this so he can, raise his sons. But, his sons are definitely going to be messed up forever. And every time they see their father in that condition, knock on wood, hope it's not permanent, but just see their father, in that condition, say if it is permanent, that it's always going to remind them that a police officer did that to their father when they were young. And a lot of these people feel that these athletes shouldn't be talking about social issues. Of course, Laura Ingraham, I can't stand that hoe. Yes, I said it. I can't stand that hoe with her ditzy ass. A few years ago, she told LeBron and KD to just shut up and dribble, but she praised Drew Brees for his comments on, about players taking a knee. And also you had Jason Grimmislock a few years ago, in response to when LeBron was talking about having the N-word spray painted on his house in LA, saying that LeBron, is absolved from racism just because he's rich. We know that's definitely not true. That's definitely not true. Racism does not have a price range. I mean, look at Dr. Henry Louis Gates. He's a professor at one of the most prestigious universities in the world. He got arrested by the cops for being wrongfully accused of breaking into his own house. Look at Robert Smith, the billionaire who decided to, pay off the graduating class of Morehouse's student loans. Now they, trying to get him on tax fraud. After he, came out and said that companies who benefited from slavery need to pay reparations. It doesn't matter. If it's not just athletes, it's black people who are upwardly mobile, who are doctors, lawyers, businessmen. They still going through racism and they're living in very nice neighborhoods and they can send their kids to the best schools. There's still a segment out there who are jealous that they have that stuff and they feel they don't deserve to have it. Look at Bill Cosby, one of the most beloved comedians in the world. He's rich, and look what happened to him. He's sitting in jail. But folks like Epstein, got away doing all his sick stuff with impunity for years. But that's another discussion for another day. So these athletes, especially, NBA is predominantly black, same with the NFL. But most of these athletes look at it like, hey, yes, I have this money, I have this notoriety, and I live in a nice house, and my kids, can afford to go to the best schools. But at the end of the day, we're still black men in this country. We can get pulled over and still deal with a racist a-hole cop. Same with my kids. Whether they're fully black or biracial, they're still not absolved from racism. Oops. Okay, if y'all want to connect with me one-on-one live, you can do so by copying and pasting this link. You can just share your thoughts here on this whole, NBA boycott or these athletes speaking out on social issues. Or you could just stay in the chat, or you could just chime in the chat. But I definitely think a lot of these NBA players are just fed up with, constantly seeing all the police brutality, especially the videos of it. Or if it's not the police, you got John and Joan Q Public out here, messing with it, messing with black people just on GP. All right, Nazo, you have a good night too, man. Thanks for joining me for as long as you could. Peace to you too. But it's just crazy that a little over 3 months ago, when's the next stream? Well, hope I might be doing another. I'll probably do another one tomorrow night, Nazo. But but it's starting to get to a boiling point. I mean, just about 3 months ago, the George Floyd murder happened in Minnesota, and then not too long after that, we heard about Breonna Taylor. And I mean, there's been so many others that may have not made the news, but I'm sure a lot of us have seen them on social media. It's just like now, it's just like it's starting to be at a boiling point. It's like, come on, when is this gonna stop? Police are supposed to protect and serve, but it seems like they only want to protect and serve certain ones or certain things, but don't want to do the rest. They just want to kill. They just want to harm and kill. And I know you're going to have your Candace Owenses, your Brandon Tatums, your right wingers talking about, well, they never talk about black on black crime or Chicago. Well, y'all don't talk about it either. I never hear y'all. I've gone through their social media pages or in their YouTube channels. Not one damn word about quote unquote black on black crime or Chicago. And also, you don't tell what someone should talk about, what they shouldn't talk about. Okay, these athletes have a right to talk about the police brutality that's going on. I never hear y'all tell white athletes like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, or Drew Brees, why don't you talk about the opioid epidemic? They're free to talk about any issues they want. But when it comes to any black athlete, especially NBA, because they've been the most vocal on these social issues lately, and some in the NFL. But when they talk about it, y'all want them to talk about something else. It's like, who the hell are you to tell us what we should talk about? Yes, there are issues in our community, but let us talk about that. Let us sort that out. You don't tell us what to talk about and what problems we should focus on. Because if you don't do that with anybody else, damn it, you're not going to do that with us. Okay? And they have as much right to speak on any issue they want, just like you do. But no, a lot of y'all don't want to hear that. Because I've, seen it on social media. Well, if they would just keep politics out of sports. No, a lot of y'all say that because it's politics you don't agree with. That's the thing. If it was something that y'all agree with, y'all would let the politics in football, well, in sports. Y'all would. A lot of these people are damn hypocrites. There have been some athletes who've done a lot worse, but y'all act like Colin Kaepernick committed treason when he took a knee. But y'all didn't have that same energy for, people like Snowden and Bradley Manning, who sold America's secrets to the highest bidder like a $2 hoe. But y'all got mad at NFL players for kneeling, and 45 was sitting up calling those players sons of bitches just for kneeling and talking about they need to be fired and kicked off the team. And a lot of you been upset with these NBA players kneeling during the national anthem. talking about, well, it disrespects the flag and the military. You know, in case y'all didn't know, Colin Kaepernick decided to kneel because of a veteran told him. Because he was just sitting on the sidelines. But the veteran told him it would be better for you to take a knee. So that's what he did. And plus, I also got a lot of people. I know a lot of people who fought in the military. Most of them are former. Only a couple are still current. And a lot of them supported Colin Kaepernick's right to protest. They didn't fight for no song and a cloth. They fought the right to protect the rights and the freedoms and principles that America was built on, which a lot of y'all still don't follow. Let's just be real. A lot of y'all still don't follow them. But this police brutality definitely needs to get under control. Y'all love to yell about the crime in our community, but guess what? We can see the, gangbanger drug dealers coming. We know what they on. We see them coming, so we know how to move around them. But these cops have the badge, gun, police unions, politicians, all of them to back them up. I never saw a union for Bloods, Crips, or any gang in my lifetime. And I ain't never gonna see it. But I definitely see the unions for the police. And also, when we say defund the police, we're not talking about like taking all the money. We're talking about there's a lot of stuff they don't need, like militarized weapons. They don't need militarized weapons. They don't need all that riot gear. They're not entering a war zone. And before people come going saying, well, they're always in the inner city, they're always in the hood. Guess what? They're not always face to face with criminals who have AK-47s or AR-15s. So they definitely don't need to be so militarized. They don't. Batarams and tanks. No. And definitely need to break up these police unions, because the police unions, that's what's really keeping a lot of these bad cops around. They have too much power. Way too much power. They donated millions of dollars to a lot of political campaigns. They definitely gave money to 45's campaign in 2016. And they probably have given some to Biden's campaign too. I wouldn't put it past them. Heck, sometimes I feel the police are worse than the gangs. It's like they are the biggest gang around. It's just getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So, do I feel that the NBA players should boycott the rest of the postseason? I mean, if they choose to, hey, that would definitely send somewhat of a message to the league that, hey, y'all got to do more better on these social issues. You got predominantly black players, also got a lot of black fans. And also black people definitely spend money with the NBA, whether it's, via the cable bills, watching it on TNT, NBA TV, ESPN/ABC, or buying the merchandise, the jerseys, the hats, especially the throwback jerseys. Come on. They just put out the Black Mamba jerseys, RIP Kobe, that the Lakers wore the other night in Game 4. As a matter of fact, so those jerseys are going to sell like hotcakes, and a lot of black people going to be wearing. Matter of fact, I was out and about earlier today. I saw a dude rocking a Black Mamba jersey, and I'll admit, those jerseys are nice. They definitely nice. So, a lot of your consumer base in the NBA is black as well, or at least half of it is, if not all of it. So if they did boycott the rest of the season, well, playoffs, excuse me, that would definitely send a message to the NBA. But like I said, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, Silver, Chris Paul, Doc Rivers, and Andre Iguodala are talking about, are sitting down talking with the commissioner, Adam Stern, because, they definitely want to keep the playoffs rolling. They don't want to lose that money. Right? I may not be on here, might not be on here too much longer. Just had to get this off my chest. Had to get this out of my, had to just finally get this out of my mind. Now, it's very funny how some of a lot of these racists and cop defenders love to talk about how, how a lot of us don't comply, a lot of us don't respect the police. But there's a lot of videos I've seen where a lot of them don't respect the police. I've seen videos of, a lot of white people fighting with cops, spitting on them, even pulling guns on them, blatantly pulling guns on them, threatening to shoot them. But the cops don't do anything to them. Matter of fact, a couple of years ago, I think it was in Oklahoma, this one middle-aged white dude fought the cops. He fought two cops. He fought two cops, stole their car. They didn't do anything. I mean, they didn't even try to shoot out the tires to stop them. But when it comes to a lot of black people, most cases we're not even armed and they still want to harm us or kill us. For example, here in my home state of Ohio, about 6 years ago, we had the Tamir Rice situation here in my city, Cleveland. I mean, come on. The kid had a toy gun. He didn't even give him 5 seconds. He just rolled up on him and just shot him like a gangbanger in the street. Would do a drive-by. Then outside of Dayton at the Walmart, John Crawford. This man was on a cell phone shopping, had a BB gun that he was gonna buy. And unfortunately, he gets killed by the cops. Cops don't even give him a chance to drop the gun. They just shoot him in the head. All because of a lie. All because of a damn lie. You know, but I know some people feel like, well, these athletes, they ain't outspoken like Muhammad Ali was. They don't do enough. They don't do it all the way. Well, even Muhammad Ali had missteps, being an activist. He didn't do everything 100% right. May God rest his soul. But he didn't even do a lot of things right. And a lot of people, got pissed at LeBron for not, well, he didn't stick up for China. He didn't stick up for China. Well, first of all, he's not a Chinese citizen. Well, he's not a citizen of China. He's a citizen of America. He's worried about the issues that's going on here in America. And plus a lot of you, you know, folks that yelled that same stuff, a lot of y'all don't give a damn about China. Y'all love to yell, Nike is doing child labor. So are a lot of companies here. A lot of American companies are doing child labor and cheap labor. But y'all not gonna stop buying their products. So that's what pissed me off with that whole LeBron and China thing, is the phony outrage. Like, okay, y'all so outraged at LeBron for not speaking out against China, but y'all were the same ones who were shitting on Colin Kaepernick and NFL players for taking a knee. Y'all wanted to make them like they were the biggest treasonous and traitors in the world. But y'all don't have that same energy for the real traitors and treasonous. Y'all the same ones who want those Confederate monuments and the Confederate flag to stay. But that's, a lot of them, no, all of them were the biggest treasonous in the world. And they also, in the Confederates, suffered a big ass L. But y'all get mad about athletes either taking a knee or just speaking on a social justice issue. Some of y'all are the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen in my lifetime. But I definitely got to give the NBA players, as well as Kenny the Jet Smith, a shout out for having the courage to take a stand, to risk it for something that they believe in. And I definitely hope we start getting some action instead of just having a conversation, because it's time for all the conversations to stop. We need to really have some action going on and have some solutions. And plus, these crooked cops definitely, need to stop, acting like my skin is my sin, as Ice Cube used to say. I mean, none of us took a survey while we were in our mom's womb and asked what color we wanted to be. We just happened to be born this color. But no matter what, we could be the, most upstanding citizen, working a job, hell, owning our own business, with our own home, taking care of our families and living good. But they don't see that, because all they see is this. And it's messed up, but unfortunately, a lot of them ain't going to change that mindset. Only a small number will. But anyways, y'all, I gotta get out of here. I thank y'all for joining me here on such short notice. I had to just get this off my mind, get this off my chest. You know, I appreciate for the ones that came here, whether you watched on Twitch or here on YouTube. I thank you. You know, I definitely appreciate you. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Make sure it's not your last time here. Subscribe to either channel. If you're on YouTube, click that notification bell. Click all so you don't miss any new videos or upcoming live streams from me. And I'll keep you updated on when the playoff games will resume. But until then, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life. QC out.